there, is Kute here, sending you much love wherever you are watching this right now. In today's short video blog, I want to talk a bit about how to stop being responsible for other people. You know, there's people in your life that likely you love deeply, you care for so much, you so want the best for them, you so love them, you so want the best for them, you want them to be the best that they can be, and you want to protect them, you want to protect them from their pain, and you want to guide them, and you, right? Maybe they're your kids, maybe it's your spouse, your loved one, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your grandparents, your friend, your best friend. There's always those people that you might feel responsible for in a certain way. I'm going to propose that you might feel over-responsible for them. And perhaps when they don't listen to you, or they don't live up to your expectations, or they take a path that you don't approve of, or they're caught up in a chaos of the pain and suffering of addiction, or they're just going down the self-destructive path, it can be so painful because you love them so much. You feel responsible for their lives. I'm going to propose this. The more attached you are to how someone should be, the more attached you are to someone being a certain way, the more you will suffer. Because what you start realizing in the process of life, what you start realizing in this human existence, is you can't really control anyone. I'm not talking about your 5-year-old kid here. I'm talking about those in your life that are really grown adults. You can't really control anyone. You don't have control anyone. I mean, if your happiness and your freedom and your sense of self-esteem is based on people in your life behaving a certain way, being a certain way, doing what you want, doing life the way you think it should be, you will be miserable. You will be miserable in a sense, dependent on them being a certain way. And what that often sends up, we often think, well, because I love this person so much. That's not love, that is control. Where you think you know what's best for their soul. You think you know how they should be. You think you know what's best for their life and their soul's evolution. And the truth is, you don't. Each person, each of us, we have incarnated into this human existence. We've incarnated into this body because there's certain lessons that our soul is seeking to evolve and learn and experience. Some of those lessons will make sense to you. It will be clear. But many of the lessons of what your child or your best friend or your parent or your loved one, your spouse will need to go through, you might not understand. But their soul understands. There's an intelligence in their soul, and their soul trusts that their soul has created, manifested, and orchestrated their life being a certain way, whether it's a relationship, whether it's the parents they chose, whatever it is, a situation, because their soul needs to learn certain things in that particular moment right now. So realize that just because you wouldn't do it that way doesn't mean it's not right for their soul and their soul's evolution. Just because you don't believe that or you would not choose that doesn't mean that they are not going through exactly what they need to go through, exactly what their soul needs to learn and evolve through. Let's just look at Mandela. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years. I wouldn't choose that for anyone. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But his soul had to go through that experience. What if Mandela didn't go through that experience? Would he have unfolded into, would he have become who he ended up becoming? And the circumstances of him being in prison set up an entire set of consequences that, let's just say, moved the world to enable him to become the president and the leader of South Africa. This was his soul journey of becoming. I imagine when he was in prison 27 years, he probably had a lot of time to think and meditate and ponder. And this was what his soul needed at this particular moment. So you see, when you interfere with people's process, when you overly are responsible and think you know best, where you realize you don't know best. When you think you know best and you start interfering and start trying to control people to be a certain way, you get in the way of their own soul's process. You get in the way of their own soul's journey. So my invitation is, number one, give up thinking you know what's best for people, for those around you. Give up thinking that you're right. Give up trying to control people's experience and people's journey, and allow each person, if you truly love them, love is freedom. Love creates the space where those that you love in your life have the opportunity to blossom and to become who they truly are. And through the process of the space that you create, you give each person the opportunity to learn the soul lessons that they need to learn. So judging them while they go through that experience, like, oh, you're doing it wrong, you're screwing up, you shouldn't be doing that, you're bad, that doesn't help them in that moment. You see, if we have certain lessons that our soul needs to go through, because you can look at someone that you love and think, man, they're going into a relationship, this is a nightmare, I'm going to try and interfere, I'm going to try and, save them. You can't save another person from the lessons that they need to learn. Every experience is perfect for their evolution at this time until it's not. So if you truly love them, don't just see your daughter, don't just see your son, don't just see your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your parent. Don't just see them as personalities, as egos, because when you simply see them as ego, you're coming from a sense of separation. When you just simply see them as a person, as a personality, you get caught. It's easy to get caught up in duality and right and wrong. But when you remember, when you have a soul view, let's call it a cellular view, when you're in the personality and you're seeing them as a personality, your perspective is very limited inside of this mind-body form. But when you expand your perception and remember, oh, wait a second, I'm a soul, and they're a soul, and they're on a journey, and I'm on a journey. We have lessons. Their lessons are different from my lessons. I may not understand their lessons, and you have a soul perspective, and you see them as a soul. It then elevates your perspective, and you can move out of the human level drama of the movie of life. And when you're able to elevate your perspective, you can see from a whole different viewpoint the perfection of their journey. You can see from a whole different viewpoint, even if you don't understand it. And that will free you up from trying to control their journey, trying to get them to be different. That frees you up to simply love them. To truly love those around you is to honor their soul's journey and honor the dignity of their process and what they need to go through. Where you look at them and say, look, I see you. I see that you're a soul. I see your perfection. I see your greatness. I see who you are. This is one of the greatest gifts you can give those you love them. I see you. I may not agree with your choice, but I see you and I trust your soul. I trust your soul. And that your soul needs to go through this experience. And I bless your soul. And the greatest gift you can give them is seeing them and loving them. Because you can't prevent them from going through their soul journey. And if you do interfere with their process and try to prevent them from experiencing what they need to learn, you will often rob them of the learning that they need to go through to become who they need to become in order to fulfill their mission and goals, dreams, and desires in this lifetime. Do not rob those you love by interfering and being over-responsible. Do not rob them, of their lessons, because when you do, you don't truly serve them. To truly serve them is to trust their soul and say, I see you. I see your greatness. I believe in you. You can do it. I'm here. I'm going to love you through this process. I'm going to not judge you, love you through your experience, and I'm here when you need me, as you need me. That might mean you have to make certain choices. That might mean you're not around them as much. That might mean you choose to end your relationship and have a relationship from afar. But it means you can still show up and honor their soul and honor their soul's journey. So my friends, when you truly get and remember that they are a soul and you're a soul, you realize that you as a human being, as a person, you are the one that is responsible for them. Life brought them into this world. Life brought them into this existence. Life is what is breathing your son, your daughter, your parents, those you love. Life brought them here. Unless they're your kids, right? There was a moment in their life that you weren't in their life, and somehow they managed and they survived and they functioned without you. So the truth is, you are not responsible for them. Those you love are the responsibility of life itself. So, the invitation, dear friends, is to surrender, to let go, realize that you're not God, even though you're a spark of the infinite, that life has them, life is taking care of them, life knows what it needs to do through them. Trust life and surrender the person that you love, surrender their journey to life. The universe, I don't know why they're going through this. It's painful, but I realize that they belong to you, universe. They are your responsibility. Those you love are life's responsibility, not yours. Then it frees you up to be love. You are big love, and this is the greatest gift you can give those that you love. My dear friends, hopefully you enjoyed this video blog. Please do share it with those in your life that you love. Maybe those going through a challenging time, those dealing with the very topics that I've shared in this video. Connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, follow me there. Make sure you're signed up to my email list. You'll get weekly video blogs and inspiration and invites to my events. I look forward to staying connected with you. Love now.